Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Willie Jolly.
And this is Dee Taylor-Jolley.
We want to welcome you to Happily Married Monday with the Jolleys. And we are grateful for those who might be new. We are the authors of the book, Make Love,
Make Money,
Make It Last, 10 Secrets for Shaping a Great Marriage, whether it's in the book or the audiobook version. And we're grateful for you coming and being a part of our Happily Married Mondays. And also for those who have been part of our jollymarriage.com community, who have been going on and getting a free chapter from the book. And many have gone on to order books, and we're grateful for that. Now, we are here in Washington, D.C., and maybe like you are, wherever you may be in the world, secluded. We've been with each other 24/7 for, at least a week now, right?
7 or 8 days.
Yeah, and that's different because at least 7 days. Yeah, it's 7 days today because the gym shut down last Monday, and so we've been together. Typical schedule would be she's up at 4. I don't know what time you get up. What time you get up? I
About
don't know.
4:30.
4:30, and she usually is off to yoga by 5:15 or 5:30, and I don't get up till around 7:30 and go to the gym. But we've been here together, and it's been 24/7.
So we do have slightly different schedules.
Yeah.
For example, I was up at 4:30 this morning, but I was writing.
And her blogs are outstanding, by the way.
I'm still working on it, so I'm a new blogger.
Yeah,
I'm a new
she
blogger.
really writes well.
I'm getting it together.
She writes really, really well, and it's intriguing and captivating. So when she finally releases it, you'll see.
You'll enjoy it.
You'll enjoy
I
it.
think.
All right. So anyway, we want to talk about this whole coronavirus seclusion situation and the impact it has, the stress it may have on your marriage, because it is very uncomfortable, uncertain, difficult. So I want to play something that someone sent to me, and when I saw it, it made me laugh so hard, I had to say, I got to share this with others. Many of you might have seen it already, but if you haven't, here is the clip, and I thought it was...
Because of coronavirus, you are going to be quarantined, but you have a choice. Do you, A, quarantine with your wife and child, or B...
Terrible.
Oh, it's terrible, but it's so funny because that was not what I expected. And so I want to say to the world that my answer is A. I had a choice. I don't care what B is. If I have a choice to be quarantined, my children are grown, so they're off on their own. But if I have to be quarantined with my wife and anyone in the world I want to be quarantined, it's with her. And so we wanted to talk about, though, those who might be more like that clip, who might be struggling right now and don't know what to do. And that's partly because this is a strain on finances, strain on anxieties and fears, and a strain on relationships.
So it's emotional stress. It's financial
Remember, speak
stress.
up.
It's emotional stress and financial stress.
Right. So what we want to do
And
is...
social.
Yeah, and social stress.
If you have different habits.
I was telling Kay Casey today, our friend Kay Casey called just to check on us, and I said, my wife's a germaphobe. Okay, she's a She got masks all over the place, gloves. Now, we don't wear masks in the house, but if we go out and you see her, you should see the picture I took her the other day when she went to the post office. She had a big old coat, her hat pulled down, her mask, her gloves.
I am very comfortable with the mask and the gloves and everything
And
else.
social distancing. We went to the grocery store the other night, to Whole Foods and a couple other grocery stores, Trader Joe's and Giant. And every time we would be in Atlanta, she'd be looking like this with people when they get in.
Because the rule says you're supposed to be 6 feet away from the next person. So why are you walking close to me? I don't understand that.
If her eyes were knives, that little man who got near her, walked right near her to go somewhere, he was walking by, he would have been in pieces on the floor. But here's what I say. I am an extrovert. She's an introvert.
I love being in. I'm perfectly happy to do everything virtually.
And therefore,
Zoom,
she is
Skype,
happy being quiet.
Go to webinar.
I want to be around people. I want to hug people. I want to hug everybody. I want to shake your hand. She calls me Mr. Glad Hand. Glad hand, he out glad handing everybody. So I want to shake your hand. I want to hug on you. I want to love on you. I want to talk to
And
you.
now you can do it through the tube.
Well, it's a lot more difficult. But here's what we do want to talk about. We want to tell you what we're doing. Being an extrovert and introvert, how do we handle these money anxieties? Because I'm much more of a risk taker, and she's much more conservative.
Which plays very well for us now.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the things we are doing, particularly the financial part of this, because many people are concerned that the jobs might have been eliminated. Eliminated. We talked to our friend Doug Ridge, and he said thousands.
Okay, Doug Ridge is a vice president.
No, he's general manager of Marriott Hotels, one of my clients, but he's a friend as well. And Doug,
wonderful family.
Wonderful guy. But he said tens of thousands of people in the hospitality industry have been let go.
In the Marriott chain, including his daughter.
Yeah. And then I talked to Tyrone Studemeyer at Hyatt.
Who is with
one of my clients from Hyatt. And he said, same. It's very challenging in industries. We got a lot of clients who we've talked to.
Howard.
Yep, who we're talking to just give them encouragement. So what are we doing though personally?
And mention Stan Robbins.
We talked to Stan today.
Who is an executive with
Discover Card.
Discover Card.
Discover Bank and Card.
Right.
And he talked about some of the things. He's at work. He's a human resource professional. And
he's an essential personnel.
Yep.
But they sent 1,200 people home.
Right.
With laptops, software, and hardware because they have what I call a doomsday plan. They were prepared. And I was intrigued by the level of preparedness that they had.
Yep. So
all of us need to be prepared.
Yeah, we should talk about what we're doing.
And once we get through this, the lessons learned from this, we will do even better.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep. So let's talk about what we do now. How do you handle it? How do you handle this challenging time in your marriage, the stress it brings on your marriage, particularly if you have different personalities and different views of the world. This can be very challenging, and we don't want to see anybody breaking up, marriages falling apart because of this. So we're going to give you what we can in this process. Also, please feel free to send us your questions or things or concerns so that we can try and address them. You can email them at info@williejolly.com. info@williejolly.com. We'll be happy to address some that might be a blessing to others who might be going through similar things.
Okay.
All right.
So the first thing that I would say is that we are self-employed.
We're self-employed.
So what does that mean? That means that we don't get W-2s. We give out W-2s because we have employees, but we receive a W-9 and 1099.
But what does that really mean? That really means that we're on a
tightrope.
A tightrope. We don't get any money. Well, we do have multiple streams of income, but we don't get it unless we create it. Okay, we got radio. Money comes from that, and hopefully you're listening to me, by the way, on mornings on Get Up Morning with Erica Campbell at 8:20 Eastern and 7:20 Central Time with my messages of hope. Wake Up and Win with Dr. Willie Jolly. So we get money from radio.
So please, that's one
book
stream of income that comes in a month.
Yeah, book sale money comes in, product sales,
physical sales as well as online.
But the majority of our income has come from Mike going out and giving speeches and doing seminars and doing events. Whoosh, that shut down.
So we're in the process of changing how we deliver information.
That's right.
So when people talk about what is going on in the world, people are discovering this new delivery system.
Well, they have to discover.
Which is Zoom.
Yeah.
Well,
Zoom, Skype,
those who are reluctant. Many
WebEx.
people are reluctant, but now they don't have a choice. And so
they do have a choice. They do have a choice. The choice is to starve.
Oh.
You cannot go along with it, but you can
people
starve.
who are reluctant to change, now they're they're being forced to.
Okay.
The regular, office people who are reluctant to. I don't really understand the Zoom. People are struggling to learn how to do it because they have to.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So that's what we do.
So
we're entrepreneurs.
we're entrepreneurs who have very different perspectives on. He's a risk taker. I'm not.
Right.
Or
You tend not to be.
I tend not to be.
And I tend to be.
So we're looking at where is the money. So my position, since I handle, he's front office, he's on stage, I'm backstage, and I'm always looking at where's the money. Where's the money? How do I keep the money? How I multiply the money? It's just as simple as I can make it. The first thing is to not panic. Well, Willie always says don't panic.
Don't panic.
So how do I handle? Because in a sense, I do panic.
Well, in a sense.
I do panic because I had already contacted and had an ongoing conversation with our financial advisor.
You didn't panic.
Before.
No. Listen. You did not panic. You took action. Now, I want to make sure people understand the difference. Panic means that you're just huffing, I don't know what to do, and you're jumping off of bridges, or you're taking guns and blowing your brains out, or that's panic. And panic is taken from the Greek word to choke. And when you panic, you choke off the air to your brain. You cannot think clearly. You cannot make wise decisions. And therefore, when there's a decision that needs to be made, you end up making a poor decision. Selling your stock when it's at the lowest point, that's a panic decision. I'm just saying, panic. I chose not to panic. Now, by the way, some of these principles from my book, Turn Setbacks into Greenbacks, I wanted to say that because many people have heard these 7 principles. I will say this. I want to share something. I was on a call on Saturday with a group of men who are a breakfast club for successful men.
Retired.
Some are retired. Most are not retired. Most are still working, and many are multimillionaires who get together for breakfast at a hotel in Washington, and I've been blessed to be able to attend that part of that group for many years. But they were talking about their strategies, what they're doing, When my time to talk on this call, we did it virtually this time, I said, first of all, I want to thank my wife. And when I said that, everybody said, whoa. I said, I want to thank my wife, but for being so forward-thinking to be able to take money from when we were really making a lot of money and taking some of it and putting it away. I didn't hardly even know about it. She would take a little bit and put it away. Well, I'm a risk taker. I say shoot the wad, go all in. But she would put some away. And so one of the guys who was on the call, his wife happened to be walking through the kitchen. I guess he had it on his speakerphone, and she stopped. And listened to the rest of what I had to say. Don't panic. Don't willingly participate. I'll go through them. But when I said my wife, and he said at the end of the meeting, before we leave, guys, my wife wants to speak, and she's never spoken to the group. We've never seen her. I met her at a gym, but other than that, she said, I want to thank Willie for the comments he made. They were very reassuring, the principles he shared, but one thing I really liked, he spoke so highly of his wife and her influence on their decision making and on their positioning, because that's an asset that many people often don't take full advantage of. And I thought that was very profound. So my wife, she didn't panic. She just was proactive. She called the financial advisor. That's really what you were going to say. Way before I did.
Thank you, dear.
Okay.
May I speak now?
You may.
So I'm the one who deals with the financial advisor anyway. I'm the one
who chooses the financial advisor.
He said chooses, right, financial advisors, because we've gone through a lot. So first, okay, like Willie said, don't panic. You have to find out where all of your money is. So I work with a fee-only financial planner. I am in no way telling anybody that, oh my God, I don't have a financial planner now, I need to find one. But you need to understand where your money is, and that all of it cannot necessarily be in the stock market. I'm a student of Susie Orman. A student of Susie Orman I'm not a great student because I don't have millions of dollars in different pockets yet. But Susie Orman says have 8 months worth of emergency money and 3 years worth of cash in something that's low risk that you can get to. And she has been blasted about that. But now she says, oh my God. I mean, people say, oh my God, she's a genius. I'm saying to you, start to listen and investigate and learn about financial information. Something as simple as where different places that I should put my money. I zero in on a financial advisor who could deal with our very different personalities.
That was important because most financial advisors like my kind of personality. I shoot the wad, go all in, take the risk. Go to the next one, though. I want to talk about number 2 because that's very important.
Okay, number 2, I had review our life insurance. Now, why is that important?
Because you got 2 types of life insurance. You got term and you got whole life.
And then you have variables.
I mean, variables.
Variable,
but now there is the possibility if you have whole life that you can take a loan from that whole life policy
at a very low interest rate.
Right. And I've talked about on this broadcast before that mates and spouses need to have life insurance with each other, particularly if you got children, but just for anybody. We got life insurance, so if something happened to me, I want her to be taken care of. Something happened to her, helps me to maintain. So we've got life insurance, and you should know about the power and the impact of life insurance and have a really good life insurance agent to talk to you about whole life and the principles of whole life, not just the term.
I would say, slightly different. I would say you need to have conversations with several.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
As I have done over the years. The knowledge I have now, I wish I had 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. But it's because of trial and error. Like we had over $1 million worth of term. Oh, it is so wonderful. You're in the middle of your career. Something could happen. You need to have several $1 million worth of life insurance. That's wonderful. If something drastically happens, something, you lose your life suddenly. But
you age out.
When you reach a certain age, 60-something, you've aged out. Mm-hmm. So a term life insurance policy that might have been $1 million for $200 a month
when you're 40s,
okay, it's now $44,000 a year when you're 65. Is that just so unbelievable? So I have gone through quite a few life insurance agents, and with each one, I learned.
Now, y'all don't know why I'm laughing, because when people call me and say, "Hey, I saw you. I saw you on TV. I listened to you on XM, or I listened to you on radio, and I like your books, and I'm a life insurance agent. I want to talk to you about your life." I said, "You got to talk to my wife, and you better bring your big boy pants or big girl panties, because she takes no prisoners. She has had life insurance people will walk out of here with their head between their, because she cuts to the chase."
You have to do your research, and with each person or agent that you talk to, you're going to learn more and figure out what is in the best interest for you and your family.
Lesson here.
And maybe it's a combination of whole life and term.
Okay, lesson here. I trust my wife. I married a smart woman. She's my best friend. And this was one of the keys why our marriage, we don't argue. Haven't had an argument in 33 years. One, I trust her. We do the principles we talk about in the book. That we are friends first. We put God as an equal part, number 2. We talk about everything. Everything.
Now, bear in mind, he might not always want to listen to detail.
I don't.
Because he's up there in the clouds someplace.
Woo!
But I pick my time, and I give him, honey, we have to make a decision. Let me give you information. I might summarize it, and it'll get his attention, and he'll say, okay, tell me more. then I can go into the details. But I realize I can't stay in the weeds too long because I will then lose him.
That's right, because my ADD will kick in, and I'll be like, where's the next thing we're going to do?
So in terms of life insurance, and it took me a while to realize that annuities were a form of life insurance.
Baby, you're getting in the weeds.
Oh, I'm sorry. I get excited too. So
I want to get to the principles that we want to share with you to keep y'all married. Look, be friends first. If you're not friends, this is a great time while you're secluded to find something that you both can do together.
Learn your finances, which is something to help to keep you.
Your finance, that's money, but just some things that be friends first. Let's talk about maybe take a class together now.
Work on class?
A class like
online
or some new language you can learn together. Do something that you can do.
I want to talk about the money.
But I'm just going through the principles. Next, make God an equal part of your marriage. You need to take time to pray together. Literally, we do that. We pray together. Then 3, you got to decide to make it last. This might be tense. This might be intense. But you have to say, you know what? Whatever happens, we're here together. We end this together. And then talk about everything. And then get to the money.
We will get through this.
We say that every day. We're going to get through this.
And we have to get through this so that we can be even better on the other side.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
get through this.
If you have not heard my song that was released last weekend, We'll Get Through This, a song that I recorded years ago, I would encourage you to listen.
Where do they
find
it?
At Apple Podcasts. But if you just want to, we can give people. If you send us an email, info@williejolly.com, I'll send you the email we send out to our newsletter list where you actually can hear the song. But you can purchase it at your Apple Podcast.
Okay, I like number 3, which is something.
Apple Music. I'm sorry, Apple Music.
Okay, I like point number 3, which is something that we did instinctively.
Yep.
And this idea came from Barry Banther.
Well, we had done it, and then we listened to a webcast, and he reinforced we were on the right track and we're making the right decision, but we didn't panic. Okay,
right?
We thought.
So Barry Banther is a professional speaker, consultant, and coach.
Brilliant man,
wonderful human being who works with corporations, mostly corporations, and he was saying review all of your expenses, fixed and variable. That was like a fancy name. I was like, I did that. But I didn't know that. I didn't really think of the fancy name fixed versus variable expenses. And we did that for the business as well as for the personal. Now, for those who might not quite get it, I actually have a book. Here it is. And the book says, what does it say?
It says Finance Backbone.
Finance backbone. So in this book, I can identify. I've got my advisors have tabs. I have my advisors. I have the tab for the credit cards. And this came as a result of getting organized with the business because there were so many moving parts.
By the way, for those who don't know, my wife has a new organization called the Back Office Boss. And in the Back Office Boss, what do you do with that? Les Brown and others have said, we want to organize our business like Willie's business is organized because of Dee. What is a Back Office Boss? What?
Keeps you calm in the midst of chaos.
Boom.
Calm in the midst of chaos. So it's not really accounting, because I don't really do accounting. I have a bookkeeper and I have a CPA. But it's how you need to put the systems just in place so your business can operate. Because it should be able to operate.
Is that a
without
website,
you.
By the way, yet? Back Office?
We're working, the show is working on that, the Back Office Boss.
Backofficeboss.com? Okay. Well, anyway, if you want more info on that, you can email Dee. Because she has helped a lot of people set up their back offices. So there is no more chaos or less chaos.
Less chaos.
Right.
So at least you can look at where your expenses, where your monies are.
All right,
so fixed expenses like mortgage note and rent, car note, right? Variable expenses might be how much money you spend on eating out. How much money goes to the credit card every month? I don't know what shopping or whatever. But to know in this particular situation, knowing where all of your money is can help to bring calm, even if you are a government employee and get that check. every 2 weeks.
Or not just a government employee, somebody who's still employed, still working and getting their income has not been impacted. We entrepreneurs, every speaker I know, their income has been disrupted. Every service provider I know, their income has been disrupted. Hotel, hospitality, big clients.
Eliminated.
Done. Restaurant. Bars. I mean, there's so many income. Movie theaters. So anyway.
Okay, so let's go back to number 1, where we said don't panic.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, okay, so I had already talked to my financial advisor, because I go over the numbers. But say, what are the numbers? We go over the numbers of our 401k, our Roth IRA, any savings, any other savings and investment accounts we have, so we have them all together. And I have a 3-ring binder with every last one of them in there too.
Woo! You talk about anal detail.
But let me just say this. Let me say this about that. Okay? Because we're also so digitally focused, did you know that for estate planning, there's something called digital estate planning?
I had no idea.
Because
you're
I'm
back in the weeds.
I'm sorry.
Baby.
I'm sorry. Cash is king. So here we go.
All right.
So we calm ourselves down by looking at our finances.
Yes.
Where's the money saved? Review all of your accounts. Review to see if you have insurance that you could borrow from if necessary. All we're trying to do now is to look where all our monies are, because that's calming. At least that's calming to me.
Now let me show a principle there, though. Let's talk about a principle.
Okay.
The principle is Money Matters. Count the Cost. Money Matters, chapter number 10. Mm-hmm. Many couples are so busy being romantic that they forget to talk about anything practical like personal finances, the money. Money management is not a romantic subject, but marriages should be seen as entering to a financial as well as a romantic partnership. Talk about the money. That's from financial planner Cheryl Garrett. And so we want to talk about the fact money is one of the three big things that break up money. You know,
marriages.
Make up marriages. Money is one of the big 3 boulders that break up marriages. Sex, money, communication. So you've got to have.
And we have to communicate about the money.
That's right. You got to talk.
Okay, so the next thing is lower your dependency rate. And I was like, that's another way of looking at this. So there's this financial planner by the name of Peter Dunn, who writes a column in the Indianapolis Star magazine, and he talks about this thing of a dependency rate. So what is that? So if let's say you're bringing home $5,000 a month, okay, and you spend $5,000 a month, so your dependency rate is 100%, because you spent everything you brought in. So this idea of lowering your dependency rate, what can you do without, so that maybe you can live off of 50% of the money that you're bringing in?
And I think it's important right now to tell you how our formula for money is. We have a formula. I've taught my children the formula. Of every dollar, the first 10 cents I tithe. We tithe. Because we believe God blessed us with it in the first place. And He's going to supply our needs according to His riches and glory. We believe that. We stand on it. And it's important that we act on what we believe. So we tithe the first 10%. Second 10%, we save, which she has done with our business, but I've done very well with my personal over the years. Then we invest the third 10%. So 10% tithe, 10% save, 10% invest. And we learn to live below our means and live on the rest of it. And that's been a consistent principle in our lives for many, many, many years.
And I think we have to do that more so than people who are getting a check from somebody else regularly.
Well, no, I don't think it's more so than anybody. Everybody needs to have a formula that they, just like a lifestyle. So it's not whether you are entrepreneur. We need to be maybe more mindful of it, because our money can go up and down. We can have really great months. We can have a slow month depending on our speeches and our product sales and all of that. But I don't care who you are. You should have a formula. And I recommend 10% tithe, 10% save, and 10% invest. Now, right now we're in a time when it's tough, when money might not be coming in. But I tell you one thing, yesterday I did my tithe when I had no money coming in. I tithed a little bit I had coming in because I believe God is willing to do it. And he said, if you will bless, you will not forget me. I'll pour you out a blessing that you can't even take it all in. I trust God. And I want to say through these tough times, my faith is what has helped, or our faith is what has helped to keep our marriage going. Look, our time is up.
Oh, wow.
Our time
Then
is
we
up.
will start next. Then we'll start.
Send
the
us your
next time.
questions.
Yeah.
Please send us your questions, your concerns, your issues, things you're struggling with. There are probably some answers in there that will not only help you, but help some other people who are watching.
Right.
Look, pass this on to Lottie Dottie and everybody. Tell everybody. And I'll close again with my little friend here who was
Because of coronavirus, you are going to quarantine, but you have a choice. Do you A, quarantine with your wife and child, or B,
that
so
cracks
terrible.
me up. It's terrible, but it's funny. It is so. I did not expect that. Look, last thing I'll do is this: teamwork makes the dream work. Page 146 in the book.
It's a great time to learn to become a team.
That's right. That's what I wanted to say. Hey, our time is up. Thank you for yours. This is Dr. Willie Jolly.
And this is Dee Taylor-Jolley.
Jolly out.
Jolly out.